Welcome back. Hi. We're doing this thing again. Not really sure. Apparently we have
Lucky Buddha.
yes, Lucky Buddha. It is. Do you want to give the audience a little view of the bottle if they can kind of see it?
Let me wipe off some of the condensation on there because it came out of the freezer just moments ago. Stylish little green bottle here with imprint of Buddha holding up something.
Yes, I will say, however, it is imported to California, Carlsbad, but it is a product of China, bottled in. I'm not even gonna pronounce that.
So let's get right into this one.
Sure.
I'm feeling it.
No.
Take your little bite there.
Yeah. Unlike the other beers that we've dealt with so far, this is a rice beer.
It's not wheat, it's not hops, it's rice. So that'll, from my experience, I want to say 2 or 3 I have had, they tend to be a lot cleaner, or not cleaner, but lighter flavored beer. Probably going to end up being something close in the flavor realm of Heineken.
Wow. Yeah. There's an interesting, almost like roastiness to it.
Yeah.
On that tail end. But yeah, it does. It does taste very much like a Heineken at first blush. That first roll into your mouth, it's like, oh well.
And just like a Heineken, leaves almost nothing to the taste buds the moment it's gone. Almost a flowery, floral taste to it.
Yeah, it's God.
But
I've been trying to
so
put a word to it.
It's so mild. All of the flavoring to me on this is incredibly mild, which would lead one to believe that pouring it into a glass, much like this, is a bad idea.
Right. So all it's gonna do is reduce.
Yeah, you're gonna hit a heavy aeration, which for some beers is necessary.
Right.
But for something that's
in this
light
case
and super clear, you're gonna end up with drinking something that's gonna end up tasting close to water. Cool bottle. I really do like this bottle. I want to try and take it home.
So, in your research dealing with this, and before we started to look into this,
did a little bit of research this time.
What are some of the points that one would look for when dealing with a rice beer in a tasting environment at first glance?
Well, from the couple of websites I looked at real quick, the rice beers were ranked pretty low on the standard of beers. Just in general. I don't know why they've gotten ranked so...
Okay, so they were ranked with a lot of other beers. They weren't in their own genre.
No, they were ranked right in there with everyone else.
Really?
Yep. You would think that they would get ranked separately, but again, you're looking at the point system of ranking.
Okay.
Things, so you're going to end up with these issues.
Okay. Maybe in another video we'll see if we've actually been revamping our process to try and grade some of these beers into a cohesive and cogent form. Well, one of the normal things that you kind of can go to is it's it's hoppy, and the other person will go, oh yes, it's hoppy, and they're like, no. This isn't that way.
No.
You don't have hops. You don't have malt.
There's no bitter of almost any kind.
Yeah, there are some very subtle flavors that I'm kind of like catching on to, and it's not that first blush, it's not the first pour, but it's as you're consuming it and as you're swallowing it in that finish, lingers some, like I can almost imagine them like roasting some of the rice as you're doing it, because there's a smokiness. If I could diagram it in an arc of taste versus time, I could illustrate at this point I taste this, at this point I taste this.
Yeah.
Insert graphic here? No?
Maybe for future videos when you actually start getting paid for this.
Yeah. I'm years away from that.
We'll see. And yeah, as I predicted, almost entire flavor lost the moment poured into a glass. It loses almost everything. The smell gets a lot more subtle. The flavors get a lot more subtle. Some of the back flavors, I think, come out a little bit more, but
just like the other beer, it does kind of softens it out. It does kind of illustrate
the effects
something. Man, I don't know what that is. It's the oxygen-free radicals bonding with it and separating whatever scent it is.
Yeah. If I had to drink this beer, I would always go for bottle, personally. Just the way.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Nonetheless, the brewery that does this is very campy with its Lucky Buddha. I very much
Yeah,
it's not too often that you see a fully fledged personalized bottle. Like most of the time, it's just like a stamp or a little thing here or there.
No, they took the time to actually shape the glass itself, and then.
Yeah, I mean it's hot pressed, so it's.
Yeah,
it's not a bad bottle. It's really enjoyable. It's one of those that I would have like off to the side on like an oven. That just uses as like display, it's like the backdrop. It would be one of them.
Yeah.
It's very, very personal.
Ornate.
Yeah. Now on a personal note, do you like rice? Do you like rice beers?
Just tell me how those come out.
Yeah. Oh, no. Do you like rice beers? Like Kiri Ichiban and Tsango and. What the fuck was that?
I think that was my new phone making a sound. Editing.
No, I'm gonna leave that in just because both of our faces were probably pretty funny. What the fuck?
But Kirin Ichiban, I think Kirin Ichiban runs closer to, while it is a rice beer, I think they tried to match the flavors of a malt, of a hops, or I think it was more of a wheat that they tried to match the flavors of, if I remember correctly. And we'll do probably a video of that one in the near future, just for comparing and contrast. Yeah,
Right. At this current point in time, we haven't worked all the way through all of the different variations of the beers that we're doing. We're just going through the beer store, randomly going, this looks good. And we're also taking some suggestions from different people. I couldn't find the Prairie Bomb. I'm sorry. It wasn't at the store that we went to. Maybe we'll order. I almost want to take this and do like a different.
You think maybe we should try and pair it with something?
Yeah, I almost I really feel like this is it's got all the components it needs to shine, and we're just receiving it the wrong way.
Could be.
All right. Well, let's go back down to our rating system.
Which, as we mentioned at the beginning of the video, kind of got shifted up a little bit.
Yes. All right. Now we're trying to revamp this, so give us a little bit of a break. All right. Our first qualifier. Would you buy it? And how far would you go? Would you buy it for yourself? And how far out of your way would you go to get it?
I think once I found the right pair, or if I was going to do this as like a lunchtime drink, I would probably, I would buy it. No problems. I don't think I would go any real distance out of my way. I might, as I'm going through the the liquor store, and I see it on a shelf, I might just snatch up a 6-pack. Because it wasn't super expensive by any means. It came in a nice little 6-pack as opposed to the last 2 drinks we purchased, which were both 4-packs. Yeah. But, yeah, I wouldn't see a hard time just kind of scooping it up off the shelf as I pass it.
Okay.
But I don't see myself going far out of the way to obtain it.
All right. That's fair. All right. Would you use this beer to share with a stranger to distinguish yourself as someone with either taste or knowledge of the craft or something in particular? Would you use it to make yourself stand out to someone who did not know?
If I was a little more truly gifted on picking out all the subtle notes in it, and I had done some research on it, I might.
Mm.
But right now, as it stands, probably not. I would be like, I might point it out in passing, being like, I've had that one, it's not bad, and give what I've tasted on it. But I don't think I would hand it off to someone to display my knowledge base.
Okay. Perfect. And question 3, would you take it to a group setting? In the sense of, would you take it to a party? And then the secondary caveat of that is that, would you sell it in your establishment?
Would I sell it in my establishment? Yes. Just to have a wide array of choices of alcohol, because I hate when you get to a restaurant and you're looking at the back of the menu or their beer menu, if they decide to be that fancy about it, where they have a whole listings of just beers, where they have Bud Light, Budweiser, the standard domestic brews of what you would expect every restaurant and every bar to sell.
Yeah, we're regionally specific. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you go through and they're like, oh, our imports are Stella and Dos Equis and Corona,
Newcastle,
and Foster's, and that's it.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, hold on. You're missing a whole array of deliciousness that's out there, and
if I'm gonna spend $15 on a fucking entree,
yeah, where's the rest of my choices?
right? Okay, so this would be something that you would sell.
I would sell it merely for having more choices. I'm not gonna promote it heavily.
It's an enjoyed filler.
Yeah.
Or it's a known quantity filler.
It's the known quantity filler. I know it. I know it's not bad. I wouldn't probably have my waiting staff or my bartender try and push it too much, unless they asked specifically for what rice beers do you have.
Right. Okay. Perfect. Now the origin of would you take it to a party? Would you take it to a social event of your friends and compatriots and peers?
No, probably not.
Now, would you reassess that statement for the bottle and the presentation of the company?
If
puts
I were
itself?
to do it for the mere presentation of the bottle, just to have people go, wow, that's a really cool bottle. Yeah, I'd probably do that.
Okay.
But for the contents of the bottle, no, not really.
Okay, that's perfect. That puts to paid all of my questions. That's our new rating system.
For now,
Yeah, let us know if
comment.
if you like it, comment it, like, subscribe. You got anything else?
Nope.
Man, there's still like a.
You know, as I was letting it sit on my palate and not drinking anymore, I was kind of getting almost an apple flavor to it.
Yeah, there's something there's other stuff there that I could just like. I realize it's like a
Fruit and
hill that
cheese.
you're walking over.
Fruit and cheeses, this would go with.
You know, the funny part about that is that almost 0 point of the diet of the people that make that is dairy. Dairy
Yeah.
is like the furthest thing from that. I mean, we experienced that in Korea. It's probably going to be the same thing. I mean, they're going to have more landmass in China, but dairy is still not typically an Oriental food where rice beer was originally created
Yeah.
from. It would be really weird to have it pair well with a food that it wasn't even.
Yeah, I mean, they had some form of apple, I believe. Alright, guys, sorry for the audio loss right at the end. The screen decided to cut off on us and it paused our recordings for our brand new little spiffy mic here that we're playing around with. But I think we've about covered it all for the Lucky Buddha out of China. Yep. Interesting little bottle again.
Like it. I will say it's got a bit more of a distinct taste from what I remember the cherry Ichiban having.
Again, I told you this in the store. It's been a fairly long time since I've had that particular brew.
It's been a while since Korea for me. So.
I'm looking at closer to 8 years, 9 years.
Sure. Yeah. All right. Well, with that, we're gonna jump over into our editing process. So, we'll see y'all. Thanks for coming.
Doodles.